from all the security agencies led by the 1 Division of the Nigerian Army, Kaduna. He noted that the operations of all security forces was sequel to the directive of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to work extra to ensure that kidnapped victims were rescued.
Already a lot have taken place. We are restoring order, we are bringing justice, we are bringing back peace to our country. About 59 or so people today, last week another number like that, and thousands, and it's ongoing across the country. And it is also a joint operations of all those who are in charge or in the forefront of fighting to keep us safe in our country.
The coordinator of the National Counter-Terrorism Center, Major General Gabar Aka, noted that some of them have spent 4 months in captivity. He added that they were kidnapped in different parts of Kaduna, saying that the pressure from troops to take to their heels and abandon the hostages.
With the bandits for about 4 months, different periods in between, but the most period has been 4 months. And based on intelligence that we've been collecting, the NSA directed we tie up with 1 Division Nigerian Army, who is the lead in Kaduna, to conduct operations within the area which we've identified to rescue these people. 1 Division was the lead in this operation.
The Chief of the Civil Military Affairs, Major General Gold Chibisi, noted that they were on board with the NSA following presidential directive to ensure they are released.
The Army, the Air Force, and all the Navy, and indeed all the military and intelligence security agencies, the police, we are fully on board with the National Security Advisor, and we will continue to work under his coordination to ensure that the mandate given to us in furtherance of the intent of the Commander-in-Chief is fully actualized.
The Chief of Staff to Kaduna State Government applauds the federal government and the security agencies for their cooperations, stating that the collaboration has significantly improved security in the region.
Second time you are coming here to receive freed captives. The last time was over 40, and you can practically see that we have 58 before you now. These captives were rescued along Abuja, Kaduna way, specifically at Rizana, and through the effort of the various security agencies, where the effort is yielding fruit.
However, the National Security Advisor further commends security agencies for their relentless effort and assured Nigerians that the government will continue to work towards a peaceful and secure nation. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
The Nigerian Senate has identified and corrected errors in the 2025 Appropriation Bill, which was passed by both the Senate and the House of Representatives last Thursday. The discrepancies were discovered during the final cleaning and realignment process by the Joint Committee on Appropriations. Sharon Ajay completes the story.
In a motion presented during plenary section, Chairman of the Senate Committee on Appropriations, Senator Adeola Solomon, outlined these corrections. The primary adjustment involves changes to the recurrent non-debt expenditure, which has been increased to 13.58 trillion naira, while the capital expenditure has been reduced to 23.43 trillion naira.
Note that while the total sum of 54,990,165,355,396 and statutory transfer of 3,645,761,358,925 naira expenditure remained the same as past, while the recurrent non-debt expenditure was increased to 13,588,9,682,673, and the capital expenditure was reduced to 23,439,251,624,250.
The Joint Committee on Appropriations has already implemented these corrections in the bill, which has been approved following its recommittal to the Committee of Supply. Despite the amendment, the overall budget remains unchanged at 54.99 trillion naira. This total includes 3.64 trillion naira designated for statutory transfers and 14.31 trillion naira allocated for debt servicing.
Sum of 54 trillion 990 billion 165 million 355,396 naira only, of which 3 trillion 645 billion 761 million 358,925 naira only is for statutory transfers and members of the Appropriation Committee for dictating these typographical errors and bringing them on time for us to rescind and re-present to Mr. President for assent.
The amendment bill is now set to be transmitted to the President for assent. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
The federal government has approached the Federal High Court in Abuja to compel the cryptocurrency exchange company Binance Holdings Limited to pay $79.51 billion and 231 million naira for alleged economic losses caused by its operations in Nigeria. The lawsuit, Binance and two of its executives, Tigran Gambaryan and Nadeem Manjawala, are accused of contravening Nigerian laws, including failing to register with FIRS for tax compliance and allegedly causing economic losses to the country during the review period. This lawsuit makes it the third lawsuit currently before the trial court against Binance. The Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, has slammed governors for illegally dissolving and taking over local government administration, despite the Supreme Court's judgment describing the move as a treasonable offense. Fagbemi stated this during the opening ceremony of an event organized by the Nigeria Bar Association in Abuja. The AGF, represented by the Director of Civil Appeals, Ministry of Justice, Tijani Ghazali, noted that despite the judgment of the Supreme Court and the provision of the Constitution guarding against the interference of state governors in the running of local government councils, some governors and their state assemblies continue to dissolve elected local government council without following the provisions of the Constitution. The Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Dele Alake, has described his conferment with the honorary fellowship by the Nigeria Mining and Geosciences Society, NMGS, as a recognition of the federal government's commitment to repositioning in the mining sector, stressing that the advancement of the sector is a collective responsibility. Here is Ogochukwu Mobuno's report.
Delivering the keynote address at the 60th Annual International Conference and Exhibition of the Nigerian Mining and Geoscience Society themed Transformation of the Mineral Energy, Water and Construction Sectors Through Innovation, the Minister of Solid Mineral, Dele Alake, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Mary Ogbe, noted that the mining industry is undergoing a global paradigm shift with the adoption of digital technologies, harping on the imperative of embracing these innovations to attract investment, increase productivity, responsible extraction of the nation's vast mineral resources, affirming the federal government's efforts to resolve and creating an enabling environment for innovation-driven growth in mining and allied sector.
Innovation is the cornerstone of sustainable growth, and it is through technological advancement, research, and strategic partnership that we can unlock new opportunities and drive development.
He further charged the Nigerian Mining and Geoscience Society to foster industry collaboration that would drive transformation of the mining industry, while reiterating the commitment of the ministry to work with the society and other industry players to realize the full potentials of the nation's natural resources for national development.
Our Mining Act is being reviewed to meet current practices. promoting research and development through partnerships with universities and research institutions, supporting artisanal and small-scale miners through mechanization and access to funding, expanding mineral beneficiation programs to enhance local industrialization and job creation.
Dignitaries that graced the events include Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule, Group Chief Executive Officer NMPCL Mele Kyari, President NMGS Akinlade Olatunji, amongst others.
Representatives of Head Office UNESCO Abuja, Joshi Manish, has stressed the need for all threats against journalists to be investigated. Speaking at the trainers' workshop for judicial tutors on the curriculum for freedom of expression and safety of journalists in Lagos, he submitted that when threats of violence against journalists are not properly investigated, too often it leads to more severe aggression and murders, which is an extreme form of media censorship. Manish argued that the cycle of violence against journalists is often an indication of the weakening of the rule of law and the judicial system globally. To him, freedom of expression is both a fundamental right on its own and an enabler of all other human rights. Kano State Governor Kabir Yusuf has pledged to fully implement the recommendations of the Committee of Inquiry on the End Bad Governance protest held on August 1st, 2024. He made the promise when he received the reports from the committee's chairman, Justice Lawan Wada, retired, during the 25th Kano State Executive Council meeting at the Government House. The governor also announced that a white paper would be issued identifying those responsible for sponsoring and perpetrating the violent protest. The military has announced plans to release 381 rehabilitated ex-terrorists in March 2025, urging state governments to ensure their proper reintegration through monitoring and empowerment programs. Speaking at a stakeholders meeting in Abuja, the Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa says a total of 789 ex-combatants are undergoing rehabilitation, with 381 expected to graduate in 2025. Represented by the Chief of Defense Policy and Plans, Air Vice Marshal Shayi Olatunde, Musa stressed the need for proper reintegration of the repentant terrorists to sustain the gains made by Operation Safe Corridor. Meanwhile, 2 victims of the gunpowder explosion that rocked the Talata Mafara weekly market in Zamfara State have died while receiving treatment at the Usmanu Danfodio University Teaching Hospital, Sokoto. The deceased, Mohammed Lawa Matuzgi and Sani Adamu Kanakalgo, were among those evacuated to Sokoto after suffering severe burns in the Tuesday blast. The explosion, which occurred around 11:30 a.m., reportedly injured more than 50 traders and customers in the section of the market where locally fabricated guns are sold. You're watching the live broadcast of the News Express on Global Television. When News Express returns, Trump faults Zelensky over Ukraine peace talks. We'll bring you details of this as well as other stories right after the break. Please stay with us. Know that Global Television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world with our app on Google and Play Store. All you need to do is download Global TV Nigeria on your phone and watch all programs on Global Television. What are you waiting for? Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television.
Social, economic, cultural, and political conditions are constantly in flux, requiring regular conversations on the many contexts and informed analysis of their dimensions. Now, these discussions are not just about understanding the present, but about shaping the future. Foremost Bayes University is taking this lead through the Bayes University Debates, hosted by Global Television.
Analyzing and debating issues big and small, Base University Debates presents a vibrant forum where we invite academics, intellectuals, and prominent personalities to share their diverse views and ideas on topical issues. Your unique perspective is a valuable addition to our rich intellectual community.
Engage in respectful, challenging debates where we try to find common ground, keep our minds open, and seek truth and understanding.
Don't miss the opportunity to join the conversation on Base University Debates at 9 p.m. every last Tuesday of the month. Showing on Global Television Channel 365. Star Times Channel 276, free to air on Nicomsat. You can also download the Global TV app on the App Store and Google Play Store. Be part of the action.
Many thanks for staying with us on the program. On the foreign scene, President Donald Trump says that he has ordered the firing of all remaining U.S. attorneys nominated by his predecessor, Joe Biden. It is standard practice for an incoming president to replace the federal prosecutors known as U.S. attorneys nominated by their predecessors. There are 93 U.S. attorneys, one for each of the 94 federal court districts in the country. 2 districts share a U.S. attorney. The Republic of Niger has begun enforcing restrictions on Nigerian traveling with the ECOWAS passport barring entry for those without a valid international passport. This move follows the country's recent withdrawal from the Economic Community of West African States alongside Mali and Burkina Faso. Despite maintaining an open border with Nigeria, new immigration measures are being implemented at crossings such as Ilela, Nigeria, and Koni, Niger. Cross-border traders and commuters now face difficulties as Nigerian authorities refuse to recognize the ECOWAS passport as a valid means of identification. And that's it on the News Express here on Global Television. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, on Star Times channel 276, and free to air on Nightcomsat. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using at Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. You can also download the Global TV Nigeria app for Android and iOS